Family, what's going on? Kyle Henderson. Family, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bamboo Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. This is our live reaction to the AP Top 25 rankings, okay? So the AP Top 25 rankings just came out. So did the coaches poll. All right, I'm going to show you those rankings. Where do you think that Alabama should be ranked inside the top 25? Do you think that they are a top 25, like a top 10 team? Do you have them in the top 5 following the victory over Georgia? Let's dive into it. Let's go over it. These are the rankings, and this is the coaches poll, okay? So I want to show you the coaches poll first. This is crazy. All right, so the coaches poll just came in, and I have beef with the coaches poll. All right, I'm gonna show you the AP next. But with the coaches poll that just came out, Alabama is ranked number 11 behind Georgia. All right, so it's like, what is going on in the coaches poll? I don't understand why Alabama would be at 11. I get it, rankings are tricky, but when the two teams played last night, you know, it is what it is. They settled it out on the scoreboard, okay? So I don't know what's going on with the coaches poll. Coaches poll up top, you got Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss. Nothing really to complain about right there, but certainly at number 10 and number 11, that is where things certainly don't sit well with me at this point in time. So we will move past the coaches poll and we will go to the AP poll. And pretty soon, it'll just be about the college football playoff rankings, right? Because those will be the only rankings that physically matter, all right? So this is the coaches poll. If you're just joining in, I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys run the thumbs up on this video, I'd really appreciate it. Let's go through it, and I'll get some feedback for you inside the comment box. All right, so this is the AP poll. This was just updated a few minutes ago. And we'll start up at the top. Okay, let's talk about Ohio State. And as you can see, Alabama is ranked number 10. All right, so that's where Alabama, they went from 17 to 10. Okay, Ohio State. If you watch college football this year, what have been your thoughts about Ohio State? Look, I've watched them a couple times this season. I watched them play Texas. I watched them play Grambling, and I watched them play Washington. So I guess I've seen them 3 times this season. I have a question for you inside the comment box. Is Ohio State your number 1 team at this point in time? I would certainly say so. I don't think that, you know, there's another team in my mind right now that is number 1 in college football. I think that Ohio State is the number 1 team. So, you know, they have a good quarterback. He's not being talked about either, Julian Sain. They got really good wide receivers, a really good defense, and I think led by Matt Patricia. You know, this Ohio State team, they're good, and I'm curious to see if they could run the table in the Big Ten. But this is clearly a team that is for real, okay? Oregon, let me get your take inside the comment box. Is Oregon a contender or a pretender? Sound off inside the comment box. Oregon, pretender or a contender? And I see you guys talking about Sam Pittman inside the comment box, who was fired from Arkansas. You know, Coach Saban wanted Pittman to come to Alabama to be the offensive line coach. He did. That was before, you know, Pittman got called to Arkansas. And look, I thought he did a good job at Arkansas, but lately, you know, the wheels fell off. Tough place to coach. You know, it's Arkansas getting blown out yesterday, and then he gets fired today. So Oregon, contender, pretender. Look, their quarterback has the best odds to win the Heisman, right? And then followed by that is actually Ty Simpson, plus 700 and then plus 950, I think, for Ty Simpson. You know, I'm going to say right now with Oregon, I probably still put them, you know, look, are they a top 10 team? Yeah, absolutely. Are they a top 5? Probably so. I don't know if I'm buying Oregon to really make a run and for this to be like their campaign to win the Natty. That's just how I feel. And same thing with Miami, honestly. Again, my question for you inside the comment box, if you're just joining us, we're going over the AP Top 25. Miami, your thoughts on Miami? I can tell you this about Miami. I don't know if they're a true contender, but they are a better team than they were last year, right? I've seen them play. I think Carson Beck is doing a good job over there. Florida State and Miami play in this next week. I think it should be a great game. It will be an opportunity for Florida State to bounce back. But as you see with Florida State, they're 18. You can't lose to unranked teams, period. And the rankings are about what have you done for me lately, right? So Miami, they got good core wide receivers. I think they're a pretty good team, better than last year, in my opinion. All right, let's talk about Ole Miss. All right, the Ole Miss Rebels, nobody's talking about them. Nobody's talking about Mississippi State either. Those two teams combined 9-1 on the season. I thought Mississippi State, they had opportunities to beat Tennessee yesterday. Ole Miss, pretty good football team. Their quarterback, Chambliss, yo, guys balling out. You know, what are you thinking about Ole Miss, right? Lance doesn't like the AP. Now, a lot of people don't, you know. And as soon as we could talk about the college football playoff rankings, the AP will be literally like, that'll be the last thing we talked about. But the rankings are what they are. And at least they're not, the rankings I would say are better than the coaches poll. Because look at the coaches poll. They have Georgia above Alabama, right? So I could be talking about the coaches poll, which is I'm shocked by this, right? How are the coaches ranking Georgia over Bama? Anyways, Ole Miss, feel like they're a good football team. I think they're playing with the chip on their shoulder. Plus, Lane Kiffin probably has this team where he wants them, right? Kind of flying under the radar, but still ranked within the top 5. They have wins over Arkansas. They have wins over Kentucky, and they beat LSU. I think the jury is still out on Ole Miss. I would say they are a pretender. You know, what's going on with Oklahoma, a lot is going to determine on the health status of John Mateer, right? Right now, he's out. They had an open week. He had surgery. He will be back later on. I don't know if he'll be back in time. He's going to miss the Red River rivalry, right? He'll be out of that game. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I'd love to see Mateer and Arch Manning go head-to-head. I'll have to check the date on that game, but I think he'll be out for that game. They are ranked number 5 in the country. Man, that's a huge boost for Brett Venables and his crew. I don't know if they're really – I don't know if Ole Miss or Oklahoma are really top 5 teams to me, in my opinion. And I think that Alabama would be better than both of them, okay? So, especially after what I saw from last night, right? I'll get to Alabama in a second. Texas A&M, I saw them beat Notre Dame. I like their quarterback, Marcel Reed, very dynamic quarterback. Mike Elko has a good defense. They survived yesterday against Auburn. Was it an overly, dominating victory? Not necessarily. I don't know. I don't even know who's better between Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. I really don't. I mean, Oklahoma and A&M, they just beat Auburn by a touchdown. Ole Miss beat LSU. I think LSU at some point in time was going to have a crash out anyways. You know how I felt about LSU since the preseason. I mean, I think it was J.D. Perkel who does an amazing job. He picked LSU to win the championship. I was like, damn, man, as much college football as you cover, I don't even have them making the playoffs. And the same thing I said with Clemson, okay? I watch football like you guys. I thought Clemson was Clemson, they're vaporized. They're not even here. Man, that's crazy. Penn State, pretender. I've been saying this the whole time. James Franklin cannot win big games. I just saw it scrolling social media, right? And man, James Franklin, he's just standing there at the end of the game like this. Like he don't even know where he was at. Did you see this? Man, I think if a better coach came to Penn State, they could do absolute damage. That crowd at Penn State, Happy Valley deserves better, honestly. That was crazy. 10,000 people? Penn State deserves better. And look, James Franklin seems like a good dude. I like his takes. But in terms of like winning big-time games, the guy doesn't do it. Sorry, I've been talking a ton, so my voice almost gone. Indiana, get out of here. Come on. What is this? Is there anybody out there, honestly, just be real with me, I won't get upset. Is there anybody out there that really feels that Indiana is a top 10 team? And I would imagine that, 90% of you are Alabama fans. I think, honestly, Alabama would do evil things to Indiana. I really do. I think it would be bad. Now, look, I watched Indiana play against Illinois. I thought that their quarterback, he threw a good ball. They have some pretty good wide receivers, but I am not buying Indiana football. I thought they had a pretty good atmosphere, too, when they beat Illinois. But are you kidding me? A top 10 team? Man, I'm not buying Indiana. I'm sorry, okay? And they are winning, and they're going to win a bunch of games. And you know what? They will keep winning, and they will take somebody's place that is probably more deserving of a team in the playoffs. Just wait, okay? Texas, 3-1. All right. Can you guys list the teams that Texas has beaten? Okay. San Jose State, UTEP. And who else did they beat? Sam Houston. Those are their 3 wins. Those are their 3 wins, and they're ranked within the top 10. They barely beat UTEP. What was it? I mean, can you imagine? Can you just imagine? Why do we hold teams to different standards? That's why I don't understand with these AP rankings. Like, if Bama only beat UTEP by a touchdown or 2, oh my God. Coach Kalen DeBoer would be packing, right? Like, how come we hold teams to different? Bama has to beat everybody by a large margin, right? Or it's not good enough. Texas Tech, I don't know. I mean, the Big 12, I guess somebody's got to be on top over there. Are they? I mean, I can't believe they're number 11. Georgia at 12. Okay, whatever. That's a good football team. That's a good football coach. We know what Georgia can do. I have to admit that Gunnar Stockton was – look, I thought he made some good passes last night. He should have thrown a touchdown pass, which should have been caught. That was a good pass. I thought Alabama did a pretty good job against him, to be honest. But look, I say I have my scale is like this: elite, great, good, and average. And below average, I would say he's good. He's not great. He's not elite. Okay? I'll get to Quay Rusau in just a minute. Let me finish my top 25, and then I'll go into Quay Rusau, because Quay Rusau will be out with a foot injury, having surgery. I'll get to that in just a second. Let me run through these top 25. You have LSU. I've said, I think kind of the same. I lumped them into the same group with Penn State. I think that their coach can't win big games. All right. I feel it. I see it. I mean, you can't beat Ole Miss on the road. Penn State can't win a big game at home. It's the same thing every single year. Iowa State, not buying it, but somebody's from the Big 12 is going to get in the playoffs, of course. I have no idea if Iowa State is better than Texas Tech. And where would those teams be if they had to play an SEC-type schedule? Right? Where would those teams be if they had to play Mississippi State? Because Arizona State found out. Arizona State found out what it's like playing an SEC team, okay? And I think the same thing would happen to Iowa State. And one of those teams is probably good. But, I mean, jump into the SEC. Jump into the SEC, dog. All right? Tennessee, the last 2 games have been in overtime, right? They had a tough time with Mississippi State. Vanderbilt, the team that is coming to town, all right? This game is the game that people be watching. College game day is going to be here, right? Vanderbilt 5-0, looking like a buzzsaw, scoring all sorts of points. That game's going to have some bad blood, all right? And you have to remember, if you're Alabama right now, you celebrate that game until like 12 today, and now you're focused on Vanderbilt. All right, that game against Georgia is done. You're 1-0. Game day's coming to town. All the noise, all the rat poison, block it out. Because Vanderbilt is capable of punching you right here, okay? Vanderbilt has an underdog mentality. Vanderbilt's thought is, we could beat Bama. We beat them last year. Diego Pavia, yo, say what you want about him. He has a competitive spirit. He fight any single person, okay? Auburn found out. Bama found out. There's a lot of teams that found out about Diego Pavia, okay? And that's just the facts. So Alabama better be ready for Vanderbilt, and they better do bad things to Vanderbilt, all right? Like to say BTA, right? That's what has to happen against Vanderbilt. Set the tone often, early. I liked hearing Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conference, talking about, there's going to be punches. We had to punch harder, all right? 13.5. Isn't that the point spread? I would not touch that. That is the biggest rat poison. Georgia Tech, good football team, found a way to win in overtime. They are now 5-0. You have Florida State. I do not think that the Florida State loss impacts Alabama whatsoever. I don't. Look, that was then, this is now. That is how the rankings are determined. It's going to be really crazy, okay? News before it's news. Now, I have no idea. Like right now, Alabama has the best odds to win the SEC, right? It's all rat poison. But could you imagine, we get to the end, I don't know, maybe Bama loses a game. I have no idea how it works out, but life is weird like this. You get to some point at the end of the season, and it's between Alabama and Florida State. Florida State's lost to 2 unranked teams or something, right? And they take Bama. Could you imagine? Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine if they somehow take Bama over Florida State? I don't know, man. That'd be crazy. So Florida State loses. I personally think that's a good team still. I think they ate rat poison. Rat poison is disguised as a yummy treat, okay? It is. You think you found the red starburst, okay? And you ate it, and then you find out that it was rat poison. That's what happened, period. All right, Missouri 5-0. Missouri will have 2 weeks to prep for Bama. So Vanderbilt, Missouri on this far right column, they are undefeated, a combined 10-0, right? Throw in Tennessee, combined 14-1. Those are the next 3 opponents that Alabama will play. Michigan 3-1, and Notre Dame. Yo, this is my last thing I'm gonna say on the top 25 rankings, okay? This team right here is like the fly that you can't catch that's in your house. The annoying little pest, okay? I don't know why life is like this, but they will try. I don't know who they is. They will try to keep Notre Dame in these damn rankings as hard as possible to get these guys in the playoffs. They're independent. They don't play anybody. They just beat Arkansas, and now Notre Dame's back. Arkansas was terrible. They just fired their coach. So, like, Notre Dame, they're 2-2. Could you imagine? Let me ask you something, okay? When Bama didn't play and they were opened, did Bama move up or down? Did Bama move up or down? When Alabama didn't play, they moved 2 spots down. If Alabama, honestly, listen, if Alabama would have lost to Georgia last night, no matter what the score was, I have a hard time believing that Alabama would be still in the top 25 because they were 17. They wouldn't put Alabama like at 24. I think they kick Alabama out. You get what I'm saying? Notre Dame, man, they're going to keep these guys around. Notre Dame and Indiana, I don't know what's going on, but they like to keep these 2 teams. And those 2 teams are the furthest thing from out of the playoffs. The furthest thing. Notre Dame and Indiana have amazing shots to make the playoffs. Just wait. Just promise you. All right, we got some injury news, all right? So it's a gauntlet of a season. Things happen. And Quay Rusaw, he's out. I don't know if it's a leg, if it's a foot, but he is having surgery. I think the first on it was Matt Zenitz. The guys with, that guy's a machine. But either way, it's bad for Bama, okay? But I will tell you this, you have depth at this position. And if you're new to this, you have what's called the wolf position. It's an outside linebacker in this type of defense. These stats need to be updated. I'll update it for Monday's show. But I wanted to paint the picture, and I hope you guys enjoy like the graphics and stuff like that. I do all this in-house, so I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you guys' support, all right? So Quay's out. I don't know how long he'll be out for. You hear that from Coach Kalen DeBoer on Monday when he speaks to the media. If there's a timetable. Surgery, foot surgery? I don't know what that means. Could be long, could be short. I have no idea. I don't even want to speculate, okay? Ja Latham, he's out too. And this guy, he's been hurt not once but twice. The second injury that he had was just last week before Georgia. It was a neck injury. And thank God he's okay, right? I mean, you have a foot, sure, you have a leg, arm, but neck, head? Man, I'm so happy he's okay. He has full range of motion. I don't know what the timetable is for him coming back, but thank goodness he's okay, period. You have Yanzi Pierre. You have Noah Carter and Justin Hill. I haven't looked over the entire Pro Football Focus numbers. Did we see Justin Hill playing last night? And did we see Noah Carter? I could do a quick look on this other side just to look real fast. I have the Pro Football pulled up. All right, Chad Kennedy, man. I got you super chat, bro. Thank you so much. All right, let's do this. So I'm looking on the other side at Pro Football Focus. Just give me a minute. We'll do game reports. I'll go defense. I'm checking the players. Let's see. Total. I'll show you guys real quick. So on Pro Football Focus, if you zoom in, right, you can see the total right here, right, is the total snap counts that the players played. And then it gives you their grades. The grades are usually adjusted, right? Sometimes I show Pro Football Focus grades, sometimes I don't. Let's look at them just because we're here. All right, so Pro Football Focus numbers, Bray Hubbard right here. I'll go full screen so I can explain it a little bit better. You guys want to see the numbers? Give me a thumbs up if you do. All right, so you got Bray Hubbard. The star indicates that the player started. This is the position. This is the total number of snaps that the player saw. Defensive is the overall defensive grade, the run defensive grade, the tackle grade, pass rush, and in coverage, okay? So think about these grades. Don't think about them as school, like A, B, C, D. Elevate those grades. So like a 69 would be like, well, that's closer to a C. So that'd be like a B. This run defense would be like an A, okay? So those are how the grades operate. Tackle, anything above 80 is like elite, all right? Let's see, Keon Sabb, 50 total snaps. Yanzi Pierre had 40. I'm just looking for the Wolf position player. Let's see. Justin Hill had 21 right here. So he played. What about Noah Carter? Is Noah Carter like... I don't see Noah Carter on here. Do you? I don't really see it. We can sort them too. So if you want to go by like who had the best grade against tackle, 86 with Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb, Damani Jackson. And I kind of tie it into like the total because the more snaps, it gives you a better assessment of the grade. Like it's hard to like let Red Morgan right here, okay? He played 2 snaps. You can't tell anything from 2 snaps. You know what I'm saying? So kind of I don't look at snaps under 20. In terms of like evaluation for grades. Like this isn't good right here. Xavier Brown, defensive grade 46, in coverage over here 42. You see what I'm saying? We can dive into more of these. Hey, the happiest Gilmore, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for hitting us with the super chat. My point was, and the happiest Gilmore says, hey, Roll Tide, haven't caught a live since I was flying to Cali to run at 10K. Thanks for all the love. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. The happiest Gilmore, man. Hope you had a great race. That's great. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sure Noah Carter will play it at some point, but right now it looks like Justin Hill is kind of your number 2, and Yanzi Pierre is your number 1 at outside backer. All right. And timetable on these 2 guys, I don't know. We wait for Coach Kalen DeBoer to update us, all right? Also in the news, talked about this a little bit earlier this morning. I'll kind of recap it in case you missed it. But Oregon's Dante Moore at plus 750 and Bama's Ty Simpson at plus 950 to win the Heisman Trophy. In terms of odds, rat poison. But the way that I look at it is notoriety for Ty Simpson, somebody who deserves it, somebody that is playing at an ultra high level, right? Kirby Smart had a lot of positives to say about him before the game and after the game. Alabama ended Georgia's 33-game win streak, which is crazy. And I still can't believe that Kirby Smart is 1-7 all-time against Bama. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was like, look, my 1-7 record, I don't lose sleep on that, because at times that we played Bama, it's been like champion-style football. Ty Simpson, 276, 2 touchdowns. As mentioned, Kirby 1-7 all-time against Bama. Alabama's offensive line, I thought they did pretty well last night. Let me ask you inside the comment box, and of course we'll discuss more of this on our Monday show. But let me ask you this, just kind of as an overall assessment, how would you assess Alabama's offensive line? Scale of 1 to 10. Sound off inside the comment box. To be honest, I thought they did pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. You know what? I expected Georgia to send kind of more pressure. But the times that they even did send a little bit of pressure, I thought Alabama's offensive line took a big step forward last night. This season, Alabama has zero turnovers, all right? We don't talk about this during the game, but we could talk about it after. There's a difference, right? 0 turnovers, which is crazy to me. Biggest thing that has to stop for Alabama, and the biggest thing that has to improve, is these run fits. I've showcased this a bunch of times. Runs last night at 43, 43, 24, 21. That's not champion level football, okay? That's not championship level football. It blows my mind that they had that many kind of fits, right? And we talked about some of these other plays. So kind of going back to the AP Top 25, Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Miami 3, Ole Miss 4, Oklahoma 5, Alabama now at number 10, all right? Whew, man, a lot of news, but I got you covered when the news happens right here at Bama Football on YouTube. I'll keep you posted if we hear anything else on Quay Rusa. And, of course, you know, I'm content machine. So stay locked on to Bama Football on YouTube, news that happens. It really helps me when you guys get inside the comment box and drop a thumbs up on the videos. I ask you guys frequently. It's really important to the channel. So anything that you see, get inside the comment box, jump on in, and I appreciate you guys more than you know. The super chats, you want to send me a Venmo tip, Cash App, I really appreciate all that stuff. But you guys just being here on the channel means so much to me. I have so much appreciation for you guys always kicking it with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. All right, Bama versus Vanderbilt up next. College game day coming in. The news don't slow down. Remember, after when we had that bye week, you know, it's easy to get kind of sleepy. Don't get sleepy. Get rest. Stay alert. And stay logged on to Bama Football on YouTube. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Sunday, September 28th. Stay alert for more videos to come from me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam. Enjoy your Sunday.